Welcome to Design Your CEO Life. I'm your host, Shay Cannon. I have designed my CEO life to live and work my business from anywhere in the world. I started this journey in Belize. I lived in Mexico for 3 years before going to Buenos Aires, Argentina for a year and a half. Now I've come back to my favorite little beach town of Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and I am truly living my best life just 3 blocks from the Caribbean Sea. So thank you for joining me as I share conversation and stories and strategies to help you to design your CEO life. I still can't believe that we're in season 2. This is a conversation. It may seem one-sided, but I am the one talking to you, but I bet you have some thoughts on what I'm saying, and you may even be answering me back. But I would love to hear from you. I am at Shay Cannon COO on most all social media platforms. So tag me and tell me how you're enjoying the show. Let me know if you've learned anything that you're going to implement, or is there something that gave you a different type of mindset? I would love to hear from you. Again, that is at Shay Cannon COO everywhere on social media. This is episode 3, goal tending. Y'all know I'm from Alabama, so in case the country got in the way, GOAL tending, okay? Because you can't create a design without goals. Let's get into it. In the first episode of this season, we talked about pivoting, how failure is fuel, because fuel is it's going to be the fuel that corrects your path, and how not getting the results should be seen as a trigger for new action, not a trigger for negative emotions. Okay. And last episode, we talked about minimalism and we touched on goals with that. We talked about being hard to, how it's hard to streamline your life without a goal to work towards, right? We talked about how goals provide clarity for all of your decisions. So now we're going to bring it all together a little bit, okay? I got the phrase goal tending from the sport of basketball. In that sport, it's a violation that is called by the referee when a player interferes with the ball going into the basket. They can do that by, let's just say, they're pulling on the rim, or they're pushing the net up, or they could be hitting the backboard as the ball goes in. That's called goaltending. But I want you to think of the literal meaning as intending to your goals, because that's what we're talking about today. So, this is around about the time where I take my glasses off so that you understand that I want you to see and hear what I'm talking about. Okay. So, where there is no way I can teach you how to design your CEO life without teaching you about goals. So this episode is very important to me. Goals represent the vision that you work towards with your actions. They act as a roadmap, making sure that each step that you take creates the right path to your desired outcome. Goals serve as motivation. It keeps you focused on the big picture, even during challenges. So, with that in mind, setting goals empowers you to take control of your time, your energy, and your resources. All right. So, to put it in a pretty bow, goals are the foundation of intentional living that keeps you from looking back on your life and wondering what happened to everything you said you wanted your life to be. So, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know how to set goals. They have dreams, but they stay dreams because they never become a true goal and they never are worked towards. So they never come to reality. So, but we could start with a dream. Do this. I want you to envision the life that will make you happy. As we already said, a vision is a key element. So I want you to describe it. What is your vision? What does it look like? What does it look like for you to have the life that you want? Okay. So, for example, when I envisioned my life as someone who lived outside of the United States, I saw it as a life on vacation where I had more control and freedom over my time. So, is this helping you to get a vision yet? Right? So, that was my vision. Next, what are the things that contribute to this life you have envisioned? Right? So, going back to my life on vacation, I really got into the details of a life on vacation. Okay. So, I really looked at where I lived, had to be spacious and modern with a view near all of the activities. And so, with that in mind, I tend to live in areas that are higher priced with amenities in my building like pools and rooftop spaces and gyms and lounging areas and security. I tend to live. I wanted to live where it's walkable to restaurants and activities. So I walk out my door and I'm right on the tourist strip. I'm only 3 blocks from the beach, as I told you in my introduction. So, this life on vacation, I was a little intentional with these details. I even went so far as to understand that my idea of life on vacation is that convenience is a huge part of when you're on vacation, right? You don't do domestic stuff when you're on vacation. So I have a housekeeper, laundry pickup and drop off. I have meal delivery for all of my full meals, and I have grocery delivery for my beverages and my snacks. So, what are the pieces and the details that make your desired life? We got to get into the detail of it, right? So, let's get a little woo woo. Manifesting has become a popular way to use vision for goals, right? Do you know how to manifest? I was once taught this little simple method, this little simple formula. Okay, so of course you're going to start with vision. Everything kind of starts with vision. So with that in mind, what does it look like? And this is frequently the step when people make vision boards. They make this visual representation of all the pieces of the dream or the goal, right? And then they put it somewhere where they can see it often. Next, you have to evoke your other senses. So, you know what it looks like. What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? Okay. And next, you want to evoke feelings. Like use representations of the other senses of what it smells like, what it tastes like, and what it sounds like. You know what it looks like. And now we're going to create the feeling that all of that brings to us. Okay. And when we put all of that together, this is what attracts what we have as a goal, as manifesting. Now, last but not least, what you want to do is you want to speak as though, right? You ever heard of the saying, fake it till you make it? Well, we don't want to fake it till we make it. But we do want to speak as though. When I learned about the chakras, CHAKRA, I realized that a lot of our affirmations come from chakras, right? And the affirmations that we know most are the ones that start with I am. Well, that's the root chakra. That's the lower chakra, I am. There are other ways to speak as though. So you have I am, I feel, I do, I love, I speak, I see, I understand. So if you can put some of those sentences together around this dream, around this thing that you want to manifest, you make it that much more real. Okay? That's a great start, right? Well, let's go deeper. But first, I have been recognized as a high achiever. That's me, okay? So I'm no stranger to setting and achieving goals. I went to a high school for smart students that is now recognized as an international baccalaureate school. I graduated magna cum laude from college for my paralegal degree. I've garnered awards for my six-figure career and then my six-figure business. I'm not just a published author, I'm an international best-selling author. In the first year of my full time as an entrepreneur, I achieved that, what I thought was going to take me 3 years to achieve, of being a location independent business, which allowed me to move outside of the United States with the thriving business to support my desired lifestyle. So I've achieved some stuff, right? I've been featured by huge platforms like Delta Airlines, Time Magazine, Thrive Global, whatever, right? Just to name a few of my achievements, those things in mind, I created some guidance to design your CEO life. So before there was this show, I had this notion that I was calling CEO life design, which is where I kind of got the name of this show from. And I created like a system to guide people to creating their CEO life. And so a lot of these things that make up a great life are more than a single focus, right? A single focus is not enough. So we picked something that we dreamed. We did a manifesting, but that's usually thinking of like a simple thing, one single focus. But we want to look at like 10 key areas of life in this attempt to really set goals to design this thing we're calling life. All right. So personal growth, how you become a better person, your business, how you run and benefit from your business or your career if you don't have a business yet. Like, what does success look like for that? Finances, we want to be able to fund our lifestyle and be able to pay for emergencies and make the money work for us. Your environment, it is so key what your environment is, the space you live in, the space you work in, the conditions that you subject yourself to. Physical health. Are you eating right? Do you move your body? Do you get regular checkups? Mental health, stress reduction, resilience, and peace. Spiritual health. Now, for some of us, that is religion, but for others of us, it's as simple as what our connection is to hope and purpose and balance or harmony. Your tribe. What are the meaningful interpersonal relationships that you have, like families and friends and your network? Contribution. Mm, Contribution. How do you give back? What legacy will you leave? I can't wait to episode 4. So we're going to talk about legacy in episode 4. So next episode, we're going to get into it. Recreation is the 10th area of life. Joyful activities that recharge and inspire. Okay. Now, for single focus goals, there's a formula out there already. You may have heard of it. It's an acronym. It's called SMART goals. SMART, SMART. And it guides you through setting goals, through making them specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So that is kind of what you would follow when you have a single goal. But what I created around these 10 areas of life, I didn't create a cute little acronym. Instead, I have 3 phrases to help you figure this thing out. Okay. Number 1, what is life as you know it? Number 2, what is life as you want it? And number 3, life camera action, or how are you going to achieve it? Right. Let's get into it. So, life as you know it. As an overview, what is life like for you right now? Okay. Then we're going to go through the 10 areas of life: personal growth, business, finances, environment, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, tribe, contribution, and recreation. Okay. And we're going to ask these questions. What is amazing about my life right now? What are the biggest challenges about this area of my life right now? What are some ideas I have on overcoming that challenge? Where can I get help and support to turn this challenge into something amazing? So we're going to ask those questions about all 10 areas of life. And that's going to be life as you know it. Then we're going to start thinking about life as you want it. As an overview, this is what is your perfect life like? Okay. Then we're going to go through the 10 areas of life again: personal growth, business, finances, environment, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, tribe, contribution, and recreation. And we're going to ask these questions. What is the best version of each of these areas of life? Okay. And what are the standout elements that make it the best version? Now, this is where you're going to dig in and come up with a list. What is the best version of it? And what are the things that make it the best version? All right. So that's our second phase. Our last phase, life, camera, action. As an overview, I want you to kind of understand the only difference between the life that you have now and the life that you want is action. So, how committed will you be to living your best life? Again, let's go into these 10 areas of life: personal growth, business, finances, environment, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, tribe, contribution, and recreation. And we're going to ask these questions. What single thing can I do this month to get closer to the best version of this area of life? What are the resources that are required to implement this single thing in each area of life? What resources do I lack to implement this single thing? What action is required to implement the single thing? And when will you do it? We need to put a date on it, okay? We're going to put a date on it. We're going to put a deadline on it. Because when we're talking about these 10 areas of life, I want you to realize that we're really trying to touch every facet of life. We're not just looking at how we have fun. We're not just looking at what our business is doing. We're looking at all of these areas that fully make up our experience. If we're going to have a life that we design, a life that is amazing, we have to be intentional. But we cannot be intentional about something we cannot define. So we have to be able to define the life that we want. And this is why I came up with taking these 10 areas of life and really looking at where we are, and then really looking at where we want to go, and then really looking at how we're going to get there. Because when you don't define something, then how do you know when you have it? How do you know what it looks like? How do you know how to get there? We have to define it. Once we define it, we have to understand where are the gaps in between where we are right now and where we're going. Because if we don't know the difference between where we are and where we're going, we don't actually know how much work there is to do. So I picked these 3 phrases to help you to define where you are and pick out those things that are working so that we can do more of those things, and pick out what's not working so we can overcome that, okay? Then we just say, you know what? Let's define what is the perfect version of this thing, okay? Because I want to go from where I am to this perfect version, to the version that I desire, to the life that I want, to the happiness I feel like I want to experience. So we know where we are. We know what's working. We're going to keep those things. We know what's not working. We want to get rid of those. But what does the full life that we want look like? So we're going to define it. Then we're going to say, okay, what does it take to get there? All right. What does it take to get there? It's crazy how even in business, people have goals, but they don't know what it takes to get to the goal. But they just keep, reclaiming these goals year after year after year. It's crazy because right now is a time of year where, as a fractional chief operating officer, what I do is I do business planning for my clients. And, when I ask them about their goals, they pick big goals, and I'm proud of them. I want you to pick big goals. I want you to shoot for the moon, right? But when you start to break down what it takes to achieve goals, people don't realize the steps that it takes. Some people, even though, as grown people, as adults, we know better than to think that things are going to just happen, right? We know better than to think that we won't have to have a part to play or work to do to make things happen. We know this. But on an unconscious level, there are so many of our goals and our dreams that we leave to happenstance. We don't ever take the time to think about, this is the goal and these are the things it would take for me to have this goal achieved, to live this dream that I want. In business, I love talking about your first six figures. It is kind of my thing as a business coach. I help people to get to their first six figures through methods that I use with my six and seven figure clients. But it's amazing how many people want six figures, but they have not sat down and thought about how they're going to get there. It's amazing how once you achieve six figures, you recognize it's not all you thought it was going to be because you never really defined what you wanted besides the six figures. So we can't just say we want this. We have to say we want this. It looks like this. I want it because of this, because that's going to help us to define it. So a lot of you will find, if you're not at your first six figures yet, you will find when you get there, that is just the door opening for you to start paying for a lot of the stuff that you could not afford, but that you needed. Okay. It comes a time now that you have a different type of tax structure that's eating into that six figures. Again, in your life, now you're able to pay for things and fund things that, are really helping some of these 10 areas of life. Okay. Because if we're not investing in health, we really don't have wealth. And some of us investing in health takes more money than we're making, right? Some of you are not internally motivated, so you need a personal trainer. That takes an investment, right? Some of us don't have the time to eat healthy. That's why we end up with the McDonald's. So it may take you getting some meal prep done that you're investing into. Six figures is a milestone. And when you reach that milestone, you realize there are other milestones above that are actually going to be what you need to achieve to fund some of these things beyond necessities. And so you can't just say, I want to make six figures. I want to make six figures because I want to be able to afford dot, 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 dot. I want to be able to invest in dot, 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 dot. And what you will find is those investments, those goals of what you really want may take you beyond the first six figures to be able to accomplish those. So defining things is very important to do. So what I want you to do, this is your homework, okay? That is, I want you to go back through the three phrases. All right. Let me remind you of those three phrases. It's life as you know it, life as you want it, and then life camera action, which is how you're going to achieve it. I want you to go back through the three phrases and I want you to write down one thing that will make each of the 10 areas of life an amazing life. Okay? So we're going to do the three phrases for each of the 10 key areas, and we're going to figure out what one thing we can do in each area this month. Okay? What one thing we can do this month. And then we're going to do the same thing next month. What's another thing we can do in each of the 10 areas to have an amazing life? And then we're going to do the same thing the next month. But your homework is to start with this month. But if you keep at it, before you know it, you'll be living a life that's something amazing. Okay? In fact, if you want a guide that has the three phrases and all of the questions for the 10 areas of life, DM me. Okay? On almost every social media platform, I've already told you, I am at Shay Cannon COO. DM me and ask me to give you my CEO Life Design Planner, because that's where I get all of this stuff from. I created this planner to help you do just this. So DM me at Shay Cannon COO. Ask me to give you the CEO Life Design Planner. All right? Cool beans. So if you didn't know, I am a CEO, but I provide award-winning fractional chief operating officer services to an exclusive clientele of 7 and 6-figure CEOs. I've been featured by Time Magazine, Delta Airline, Thrive Global, and more. I help solo and entrepreneurs to stop spinning their wheels and struggling to get to their first six figures in business. If that is you, I'd like to invite you to my free group. We build community, we create collaborations, and we have conversations to provide you with transformational business growth. Go to shaycannon.info/group and join us. I would love to have you in that group. So, even though your first 6 figures is a milestone, I want to help you get there and beyond. Well, that's all for this episode. It's been a pleasure having you tune in. So, CEO, go design a life worth living. Bye for now.